Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video we are going to be going through the process of setting up my IKEA Milsbo wide cabinet. Yeah, the Milsbo wide. I recently got it this weekend at IKEA and I've always kind of wanted a Milsbo, but the reason why I never really got them before is because they don't have the metal backs. And for anybody that knows or doesn't know, I actually have a Rudsta downstairs and I really like it for that metal back so that I can use it for like magnetic things, and it actually has nice panels on the back so you can unscrew them and take the cords that are for like the lights, the fans, everything like that, and you can feed it through that nicer. Now I bought the parts to actually use this kind of like they're called grommets, but I bought the parts to actually drill the large hole into it so that I can feed the cords through. But yeah, let's see if that's going to be okay, because I've never done that before, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, I'm going to be putting it underneath the window in my office. I really wanted my desk to go over there because I get really good light, and I like good lighting when I'm on like video calls for like my full-time job. But the desk that I have right now, it's too big and too bulky. It's one of those like stand-up desks that you can adjust it from like the height of it. But yeah, like I'm going to be building it in my office. We're probably going to put it there for now. Who knows if we're going to rearrange. But yeah, this video is just to basically go over the process of like what I used and how I set it up. And this is the first time I've ever set up one of these actual cabinets before, and a lot of these products I've actually asked Wild Fern for her input on because I like the way that she has hers set up with like the grid and stuff like that. So thank you, Fern, for all of the feedback and all of the input that you've given, because it's really helped me understand what I need to get from like Amazon and things like that to actually start building it. So yeah, okay, enough rambling, let's get started. just for reference, it's actually going to be going like right here, right under that window right there. That's where I was talking about before, where I have my desk, but my desk is like, it's a mess right now, but the depth of it is quite large, so I was running into an issue with it kind of clashing with this space over here. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna put the Milsbo wide right there and see how that works. Okay, so minor setback. I bought like that larger drill bit that I showed before. I think I showed it before. And I bought it for my cordless drill that I have because I wanted to drill the hole to put those little like grommet things in so that I can feed the wires through. So the one that I bought didn't fit my actual drill, so I had to go back to Home Depot and actually go get another one. And now I'm gonna go drill the holes. Okay, the cabinet's all built and everything's put together, so now I'm just gonna go through some of the things that I'm gonna put into my cabinet and show you kind of like what I'm gonna be using to set it up and like what the products I'm using to set it up with. So first, I mean, since it's in my hand already, I'm gonna be using these magnetic hooks, and I'm actually using these in my Redsta cabinet as well. And I use them to hang like small plants off of. But essentially what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be putting these wire wall mounts, or these wire, I don't know what they're called, but essentially I'm gonna be hanging them up in the back like this. And I'm gonna I think I might do 2 rows, so like 4 in total along the back. And then I got a bunch of these magnetic hooks, and they're pretty strong too. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to hook them on like this. And I actually learned this, or like this is, I actually learned this from Fern, and because I was trying to figure out how she actually like hung up her grid like that. So I'm going to be doing the exact same thing. And then I'll probably be doing, since I have so many anyways, I'm going to be doing a bunch at the top, like probably 1 for each square, just to kind of secure it and make sure that it's not going to fall. And I think these can hold up to like, I think it's like 10 pounds or something each hook when they're on a magnet. So it'll be pretty strong. Outside of that, I'm going to be using these, oh, you can't really see it. And I have one that's outside of the package. I'm gonna be using these like wire, they kind of like cover the wires. So the wires for my actual like lights and stuff, they're all white. So obviously I don't want white wires to be showing inside my cabinet. So it's cool because these wrap completely around like the current ones, and then it's basically like you don't see them. Like obviously I have to stuff them in there, but I'm gonna put them all along down there. And then I have these like wire clips essentially, and they're sticky. They already have like the double-sided tape on them, and then you kind of take them off, and then I'll take one out of the bag so you can see what I'm talking about. So you essentially take it off, and then you kind of stick it to the top of the like ceiling or wherever you're going to be putting them, and then they kind of snap in. Like once you adhere them to the top of the cabinet, you can kind of snap them in, and then they kind of just hide all of the cords above, and they kind of keep them to the ceiling. And then lastly, so these are the lights that I have. They are Barina T5 grow lights. I think they're full spectrum. They're not too bright, but I have a bunch of them. I think I have like 8, so they're gonna be going in there. And then what I've done with these is I've actually pre-stuck these magnets to them, and then essentially all I have to do is, that was pretty loud, but you essentially, and then you can move them around too, right? So like if I don't like the placement of it, I can always move it around and stuff. So yeah, that's why I like using these like strong magnets, especially on the lights, especially because I hate having to like adhese them or use adhesive and then have to like peel it off afterwards, and then all of the residue. So yeah, I'm gonna be putting these in first, I think, and then trying to hide the wires. So I also put these grow lights here, and they're just in the corners, but they're not very fastened, and they do have 2 of those magnetic like strips on them. And I don't know really what to do, or like, cause I don't want to put all of them up at the top, cause then when you put all of the plants up or all of the lights up at the top, then all of the leaves start facing the top. So I wanted to do something where they kind of face a little bit forward as well, or got light from the forward, so that like their leaves would be able to face forward. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you figured out what to do with the Milsbo wide, or I don't know if the Milsbo tall is the exact same or not, but I do want to be able to put some sort of light on the front. And I was thinking like, oh, maybe I could put it here too, but I don't know if that'll work or not. So yeah, leave me a comment down it below and let me know if you figured out a way to actually put lights on the front of these so that you can, the plants will be able to get light from the front instead of just the top. Also, that hole that I drilled in, it was for this, so that I can kind of stick the wires down there without actually showing them, because I really hate, like, I didn't like kind of like the aesthetic of having them go everywhere, so I that's why I wanted to drill the holes so that I could do something like this so that it looked a little bit more clean. Okay, I think that's it for tonight. I've built this, I've drilled the holes, I've set up the lights. Now I've put the back rack on, and what I really want to do is, like, what I want to actually do with this is actually put like anthuriums and orchids in there. And I'm wanting to try out doing it purely just in sphagnum moss, like sphagnum moss mixed with perlite, growing anthuriums and orchids in those, because I don't know, like it's a lighter substrate, so like I can hang it off of these grids too, so it'll like I don't have to just put baby plants on there. But yeah, I think tonight I'm done for tonight. It is, I think, like 9:30 p.m. So what I will be doing tomorrow or the day after, whenever I get back at this, is installing the fans, and then I will be doing the weather stripping as well. And then just showing you my progress for tonight. So I've built the cabinet, obviously, I've installed the lights, and then I've put up these grids on the back, and then I have like really strong clips that I'll end up like clipping the plants to. But yeah, I think I'm done for tonight. I will do that tomorrow or the next day. Okay, so it's been several days since I last filmed the initial like building of my cabinet and setting it up to a certain point. I think I worked on it until, I don't know, about 9 p.m. that night. It has been probably about 4 or 5 days later, and mainly because I was waiting for the weather stripping that I bought on Amazon to come in. And I was looking for specific ones because I wanted them to be black to match my cabinet. So I went ahead and I put the weather stripping on, and I put a fan in my actual cabinet now. So, and I actually added a bunch of plants to it too. I didn't really want to wait until I got the weather stripping and to start putting plants in there. So I've already started filling it with plants. So I'll show you guys what it looks like now. Okay, so this is the actual setup with all the doors closed and everything, and with the lights on and the fan on. So I started putting a few plants on the back there, and I'll bring you closer in and I'll actually go inside the cabinet to show you what it looks like. So like I said, I added a bunch of plants in here that I didn't want to wait until the weather stripping came in order to start putting some of my plants in, and I actually got a few new plants since getting this, so I've put them in here. It doesn't hold on to humidity great. You'll see right now it's at 42%, and I did weather strip it, but this one, this cabinet I found a little harder to weather strip in my opinion. My Redsta was a little bit easier, to be honest, but that's okay. I'll figure it out. Plus, I don't really want my cabinet to be at like 100% humidity or like super high, because it just makes it a lot harder when you want to transition them out into normal conditions, like normal room conditions for me. So I don't mind if the humidity is a little bit lower. I just want to make sure that I got this more or less for looks. So don't mind my new desk. I'm going to be putting that together soon, but and don't mind how jagged this looks, but I essentially bought like the rubberish weather stripping, but I essentially got the rubber weather stripping, and it kind of goes into like a D shape, and I had to cut it because it was actually too thick. I wish I got a little bit thinner one, but that's okay. So what I actually had to do is like cut all along the side here, so it fits now, and the doors close, and they weren't closing at first when I first put it on there, and I was like, oh crap, that really sucks. So, but it still covers a lot of the gap that's in between the door and the actual cabinet. But yeah, I had to kind of do that, so I did up there. I'm debating if I want to do along the top of the door right there. I have a feeling it would hold in a lot more humidity, but like I said, I'm not too worried about like having 80-90% humidity in here. So like, yeah, it's not really, it doesn't really matter to me. But, and then I did it also, if you can see on this side, don't mind, it's like kind of all jagged. That's why I wanted black, to make sure that you didn't really see it. But yeah, so I did the exact same thing on this side. And then this was mainly what I was looking for. So I have the plastic weather stripping, like I don't know what this is called, but it's just like the plastic or like the rubberish weather stripping that you put along the doors, and it's kind of flat, so now there's not that huge gap in between. So you'll see like usually I'll close the door, usually there would be a huge gap in between that you would see, but now it's all black, and that's what I was kind of waiting for. And I have clear weather stripping on my Redsta, and I kind of like the black because it makes it look a lot nicer. So I also put in a fan, so I put this larger fan, and I have two smaller ones in my Redsta cabinet, but this one I wanted to try and get away with just one fan, but I'm not sure if I will, so I might have to order another one, but that's okay. And then what I did is I fed it through the back right there, through that, I can't remember what that's called, but I fed it through there. And then what I have these plants on, so it's nice because I can just grab it, and I can just grab plants easily off of the rack. But essentially what I have each plant on, if it'll focus, you gonna focus? Okay, it's not gonna really focus, but so there we go. So what I essentially have these plants hooked on, so it's a pretty strong clip that's actually clipping onto the pot itself, and then each clip has a hook on it, so it's super easy to just grab it and then put it onto the wire mesh like that. So yeah, I can't wait to actually like start filling this up so that you don't see the wire mesh so much, but it's going to be hard, especially for these Hoyas, because I think what I'm going to do with these Hoyas is end up putting them into pon, because that's just my best growing substrate whenever I have Hoyas. So I think I'm going to put them into pon, and this was actually a new Hoya that I got from Crystal Star Nursery, so I love it. It's so pretty. And then I have a few other of my anthuriums. So obviously this is one of my anthurium babies that I had before. Ooh, this feels like it needs water, but I transitioned it. I put it back into moss with perlite because it needed to grow more roots, and it seems to not like any substrate that I put it in other than moss. So I guess I'm just gonna grow this one in moss forever and see if it will continue to grow in moss. But yeah, so I'm gonna try that out. And then over here, so I originally got this idea, or I saw that Kevin, like Hakuna Planta, he has what is the name of this? It is Phalaenopsis. Can't really read that. It's Phalaenopsis something Diamond Panda. And I got this from Crystal Star Nursery too. But I just love how the blooms just look like, I don't know, I love the way that the blooms look. So, oh, sure we're okay. I just love the way that the blooms look. So I made sure to get one as soon as I saw that they had them at Crystal Star Nursery. So yeah, I got one, and I'm probably going to grow this one in sphagnum moss and like a mixture of sphagnum moss and perlite, like some of my other propagations and some of my other plants in here. And then you'll have to forgive me. I know this is kind of turning into like a plant updates video, but essentially these are the new ones that I've gotten since I got this cabinet. But this was through a plant trade that I did with Marnie, and I can't remember the actual name of it, but it's a Hoya and it starts with an S. I'm gonna have to put it on the screen because I'm not gonna remember, but or I actually don't know the name. Like I wouldn't be able to tell you off by hand. So yeah. And then I just started putting some of my other plants that were over on my dresser that you usually see in the background, because I was looking a little cluttered and I just wanted to start filling this cabinet because I want the cabinet to look lush and full of plants, but I don't want everywhere else to look lush and full of plants because I like that minimalist vibe sometimes. So yeah, this is the IKEA cabinet. Yeah, so that's it for today's video. I'm gonna make sure that everything that I used to build this IKEA cabinet I put in the description, and a lot of it's off of Amazon, so I'll just put links down below to all of the stuff that I actually used to build this cabinet. But yeah, this is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.